Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 4, and today we play Fulham at home in the Championship in what is still a top of the table clash, but as you can see, things have tightened up quite a bit. It's no longer first v second or third, it's second v fourth. So obviously, as you know, that means we will have dropped some points since the last episode. You can see remarkably we're the only team not to have drawn a game this season. I was just checking the bottom side QPR before I confirmed that. We've won 10 and lost 5, and our contrasting performances have been absolutely baffling. You can see one of the worrying stats at the bottom of the screen. Although we've scored the most goals in the league with 40, we've got the second worst offensive record with 29 conceded, and unfortunately most of that is down to just 2 or 3 games where we've been completely off the pace and suddenly thrown things away. We've not had too many yellow cards and we're yet to have a red, and despite selling out every single game at our stadium playing more, we've got the worst average attendance in the league. So that's where this is going to help us next season, having a stadium that allows us to compete financially and have a bit more of a backing at home too. And as much as I love this formation at the moment, going forward it's brilliant. We really are struggling at the back and I've got to find a way to shore it up. But let's look at those results since the last episode. You're with me as we won at West Ham. It was a really good performance after the international break and we looked brilliant at the London Stadium. They took my voice away with an early spell, 3 brilliant goals in 20 minutes, and from there it was plain sailing. However, we followed that up with the worst performance of the season by far. At home to Nottingham Forest, we lost 5-1. We were already 3 down before Broja got his and then let in 2 more late on as we were chasing the game. After that we got back to winning ways with a completely opposite performance, a 4-1 win at home to QPR. You may notice Lahan, one of the star midfielders, wasn't playing in that one. He hasn't actually played since. Unfortunately we've struggled with a couple of injuries, but that was a really good performance and we nicked a win away at Brentford as well. A decent one there. Broja and Lewis, 2 of the star men as always. We lost 2-1 at home to Birmingham though, a 92nd minute winner for the away side. Armando Broja looked like he'd nicked us a point, but again conceding late goals has really been a problem for us this year. We lost 4-3 away at Swansea. This time we put up a late fight back after going 4-1 down. John Gerrard, the youngster off the bench, turning into one of our bright lights as he got another brace for the club. And then we came back to winning ways again with a 4-2 win at home to Charlton. This one after the October international break. Frank Hall getting a brace in that one. Broja and Nico Williams with the goals as well. We then went down 4-1 away to Reading. You can see the complete contrast here, almost game by game. A 4-1 defeat at Reading, a terrible performance. We were 4-0 down after 53 minutes and Broja got a consolation. But then again, straight back to the opposite the following game. A 4-1 win away at Stoke City, a Bobby Duncan hat-trick and Armando Broja with a goal. So I have no idea what side's going to turn up today, and that's a bit unfortunate because when we're at our best, we're by far the best side going forward in the league. As we mentioned, we do have 1 or 2 little injury concerns at the moment, so if we go to the medical centre, the big one is Colm Lahan. He's still got 10 weeks out, he broke his leg, he's been missing for a month and a half, and he's going to be missing for another 2.5, so a 4-month injury spell for him, and that's unfortunate as he'd started the season pretty decently. He is our best central midfielder in terms of rating, but as you can see he was starting to decline there, and that could be a worry when he makes his return. The other one today is Darren Mapley. He's actually suspended for this one. He's got 5 yellow cards already, something that's unusual for us. We don't often pick up many bookings, but Mapley this season has picked up a few. So we're missing both of our first 2 choice midfielders, which means we are a little bit weaker in that area today and don't have any options on the bench either. But we've still got a decent side, and who knows what version of us will turn up, but if it's the good one, those 2 missing players won't matter. We've got Robson Brown who's just back from injury, but we are going to risk him today. So let's go and look at the lineup for this big game against Fulham. Obviously a club with a bigger budget than us. They'd expect to win. They're one of the favourites for promotion, and you can see they're heavy favourites despite us being just above them in the league. Again, we've sold out playing more, but that's not really hard at this level. But let's look at the lineup and see what it's like for today. Not too many surprises at all, pretty much as you'd expect, but unfortunately we are a little short in some positions. As we mentioned with Robson Brown, he's just back from injury. We've got another game in a week's time. If we were playing in midweek again, I probably wouldn't have risked him today, but having a week to recover is all that's important. We've got a very defensive bench as there are only fit options. The only other ones are McGeever and Dillon. So we've got lots of strikers and lots of defenders fit and not many midfielders at all. But our lineup for today is Alex Bass, the ever dependable keeper. Brown, Shalabar and Williams make up a back three. Nico Williams at right wing back. Adam Lewis on the left. Rowan McDonald back into central midfield. He started the season for us in the first team before Desart and Lahan came in. McDonald is alongside Desart today as they're the only two that are fit. And then McCann's in behind Broder and Duncan, who have both been in brilliant form this season. They're both in double figures by the end of October and hopefully they can continue their scoring form today as we're very unlikely to keep a clean sheet. Let's get into the game and see if we can get a result. Which team will turn up, the terrible one or the brilliant one? Okay, it's a 4-4-2 for Fulham. Not a formation we see too often at this level. Hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that, but I'm not sure how these will match up. We want to pick up where we left off, as obviously we beat Stoke brilliantly in the last game, but at home we've tended to struggle a bit more this year. Our big 5-1 defeat at home to Forest. Our first defeat of the season was actually at home, and we've been worse at playing more than we have on the road. I don't know the reason for that. Maybe our formation suits counter-attacking, but we seem to get incredibly overrun at home. It's a bit of a strange stream of rain here down at Playmore. We've got heavy spells followed by light spells. It almost looks like the guttering's leaking, but obviously the stadium's probably not even that big, so it can't be anything to do with the roof. We've got an early corner. Hopefully we can get a goal and then we can finally stop talking about stadium guttering. The ball's headed away as far as McCann. He's got the ball on the left hand side, not in any rush to get there by the looks of things, but he's got plenty of space to run into. Rowan McDonald finds him again. Will he try and get a shot away? He doesn't. He goes right to Nico Williams. Robson Brown back inside to McDonald and Desart holds it up in midfield. Adam Lewis, the danger man on the left. The more of him we can get on the ball, the better it probably is for our chances, although this time he gives it away and Fulham can hack it clear. 5 minutes gone, no goals yet, but Fulham have got their first chance of the match now. Delivered into the back post. McCann heads it straight back to them on the edge. Brilliant effort from the edge of the box, but it's just over the bar and we survive at 0-0. It's Jones with a throw into Zava. Back to McCarthy. They're building again from the midfield area. They seem to have that extra bit of space in the middle, despite it being 3-on-2 in there, and unfortunately they've put another shot wide. Unfortunately for them, that is. We're delighted they didn't score. Nico Williams with a corner. A bit of an end-to-end game already, a couple of chances at both ends, although Fulham's have been closer. McCann shoots from the edge, this one's just over, grazes the top of the net, but unfortunately for us, it still remains 0-0. A promising start, but we still look a bit shaky at the back. We're back with a free kick. It's Declan Rice taking it. I didn't realise he was there at the start of the game. He's obviously a bit of a feature in our Newcastle series, or our head coach series where we're currently at Newcastle. We're a journeyman in that one, so he's not a one club series, but he's certainly been a factor in our recent success there. It's another effort we've had on goal with Armando Broja, but it was another comfortable save for the keeper. No clear-cut chances for either side yet. McCann finds Desart though. We don't need a clear-cut chance when Desart's doing that. Shoots from the edge, low bullet shot, and it goes right into the near post. You may say the keeper shouldn't be beaten there, but that was a rocket of an effort. We've got another chance now with McCann. Shoots from the edge of the box just wide, and with half an hour gone, that goal really seems to have given us a lift. But it's Fulham coming forward from a goal kick. Reece Williams heads it away, but only as far as Brooks. He's charging at the defence. There's no pressure on him at all, but Desart, the goal scorer, with a flying diving header, blocks away the cross, and Fulham have to build again. Tonali in the middle of the pitch. They've got it out to Brooks again. He's been a bit of a danger man so far. Nico Williams heads away at the back post. Java shoots from the edge. He's had a couple of sighters already, and this one's into the bottom corner. Two really good goals from two midfielders, and it's 1-1 with 10 minutes to the break, probably deserved from Fulham. We've got to go and have a look at his attributes. If we hover over him, he's on 20 grand a week. He's on loan from Watford, worth £26 million, 64 caps for Austria. He's certainly out of our league, and that shows the gulf between our squad and Fulham's, as Duncan has another shot, but it's a tame one straight into the keeper's hands. It's a long goal kick though. Carries on straight with the same highlight. Shalabar gets it down to McDonald. Desart over to the left hand side. Lewis heads it through, but it's straight at the keeper, and I have no idea why we needed to see that. Mazza with the goal kick though. Drops it down. We're still seeing this extremely long highlight. Is it going to end in a proper chance as Nico Williams comes forward on the right? Long ball into Duncan. This could be it. Oh, he's put it wide. He surely should have hit the target there. It was the last kick of the half, and Bobby Duncan, ever reliable in front of goal normally, has wasted a great chance to put us ahead. It's 1-1 at the break, 2 good efforts from the edge of the box. These are with what I think is his first for us. He hasn't scored before in the league, but has in the Carabao Cup. But unfortunately it was to no avail as Java scored from the edge for Fulham. Let's go and talk to the lads. We're going to tell them they've put up a good effort. We've seen just from the couple of Fulham players we've looked at, the likes of Declan Rice and David Brooks are really good players. The goal scorer's a class act for them, and we're doing really well just to be competing. Let's get into the second half and see if we can put up a similarly good performance and hopefully sustain a result in this game as well. It's Alfie Mawson with the long ball for Fulham. Java knocks it down the goal scorer for Tavernier. Switches it to David Brooks over on the right, and he's been charging at the defence all day. Java on the edge again. We've closed him down this time, but the ball's out to the left for Jones. Into McCarthy at the front post, and within 30 seconds of the second half starting, Fulham have taken the lead, and I just hope we don't collapse again now, like we have so many times this season. Just a quarter of the game to go now. It's been a bit quiet on the highlights front since the goal. We've not seen any action, just a few little text commentaries at the bottom. So let's make a few changes. Nico Williams is furious and not having the best game. Richard Quirk, the youngster, will come on for him. Ian McCann's frustrated in the number 10 role. Ricky Ash can come on in that position. And we've got 2 strikers who aren't doing great. Bobby Duncan's missed a sitter and Armando Broja's not particularly fit. But Duncan's been the worst of the 2, so we're going to take him off. Frank Hall will get a chance up front. He scored a couple of goals in recent games. Let's get back into it and see if we can nick an equaliser. It's a corner for Fulham, an outswinger from Tonali. Broja heads away and now Ricky Ash can get there. Can we counter and get one on the break? Frank Hall's up there in the middle if he can find him. He does in the box. What a finish that is. A little bit of a pause there. I'm not quite sure why. Frank Hall rifled it first time into the net. A fantastic finish. Instinctive reaction in front of goal. And we are level with 15 minutes to go. Now can we go and get a winner? Just under 10 to go. It's Adam Lewis, the left wing back. Tries to throw it into Frank Hall, but it's gone a miss. And now it's gone to Reece Williams. Desar switches it to Quirk, the youngster. He tries to deliver it. Deflects to Broja. Great block on the floor by the Fulham defender. Throwing their limbs on the line. McCarthy tries to get in behind, but Robson Brown does well. Rowan McDonald and Quirk exchange passes. Desar brings it forward, but he's carried on it a bit too long, and he's been challenged in the end. It's fallen fortunately for Lewis, though. Broja shoots. It falls into the path of Ash. Brilliant save by the Fulham keeper. He's really got to take that one. Either side of the keeper and it's in, but a really poor finish. Not much composure from the number 10 there. 4 minutes to go and it doesn't look like it's going to be our day. We've created so many more chances than them, but we've just not had any composure in front of goal. We're almost into stoppage time now. 4 minutes are going to be added on. One thing that really annoys me in FM actually is the amount of stoppage time gets announced a minute before the end. Obviously in real life, in such a realistic simulation, it gets done at the 90-minute mark and that's got to be something quite easy to implement. Broja has a header straight at the keeper and unfortunately it looks like it will finish level. It's Lewis with a throw-in, just 10 seconds left. In fact, we're over the allotted time. Mawson will hack the ball clear and that is the end of the game. 2-2, a really good performance against a side that have got a far bigger budget than us and plenty of household names, but we managed to hold our own and unfortunately we didn't win despite dominating and having more chances. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased with their effort. They've really put up a fight today. They've done well in avoiding defeat and it keeps us in the promotion mix, which is something we wasn't expecting at the start of the season. Unfortunately, we were a bit weak at the back again, although the first goal was a very good one. But again, we've switched off at a crucial time in the first minute of the second half. Let's have a look at Declan Rice on this one, just to compare him to the other series. He's not a bad player here at all. On 50 grand a week, worth £12 million, you can understand why Fulham are up there in this series, because obviously in our other save he's playing for Newcastle in the Premier League and holding his own there quite comfortably. But given some of the players Fulham have got, I'm really pleased that we've got that result and probably even more delighted with the performance and the fact that we outshone them on the day. Desar scores a good goal. We'll go and praise him. He did really well. He created some chances as well, but unfortunately we just didn't put them away. Walter Mazzari's watching us. He's looking at Bobby Duncan, the Sheffield Wednesday manager. How are they doing now? Because they were down in League 2. They're back up in League 1 and near the top. It's very strange to see Mazzari down at that level, but obviously Sheffield Wednesday are a bit of a sleeping giant. They've still got Alex Mowat, who featured in our other series in our Barnsley stint, so it's good to see some more familiar names in an alternate universe. But we're still in second in the Championship, although it is really tightening up at the top now, just 3 points separating the top 5 teams. And in fact, the whole league down to 22nd place, separated by just 15 points. So it's going to be a brilliant season, probably one of the classic competitive years in the Championship, and hopefully will be a big part of it if we can hold on for that top 6 place. It would be an amazing achievement. For us, it's just about beating last year. If we can get in the top half, we've done well. But obviously, being up here so early on in the season, we'd like to try and sustain it. We've got Broder and Duncan amongst the top scorers in the league. Adam Lewis has got the best rating, and Nico Williams contributing with assists this year, which will surely help us a bit more. Last, before we round up the episode, let's go and look at the dynamic screen. It's something we don't look at too much, but a lot of people normally ask for it. The team cohesion's good, some of those new signings starting to adapt now. The dressing room atmosphere's improved based on that result, and the managerial support's still excellent, although there's a couple of players that aren't too happy. Adam Dillon's given up on first team football after a couple of months, so he'll be off in January, and we mentioned Johnny Byrne already in the last episode. He'll want to leave at the end of the season. There's probably not going to be much opportunity for him here at that point anyway, so we're not too worried about him going, although his leadership skills in the dressing room really are going to be missed. We've got the likes of Broder and Bass up there at the moment though. They're very much part of our future plans, so hopefully we'll still be able to do alright. If we quickly go to the hierarchy, you can see we've got loads of influential players, mainly as we're starting to get a core of a team that have been here for 2 or 3 years, just like we did when we were on our way up to League 2. It really worked well off the pitch and led to plenty of great success. A lot of those in the other players category are now working off the pitch in a mentoring group, so hopefully they'll develop their personalities and start to join their peers higher up the table. But let's finish off on the schedule screen to see when we'll next be back. I think before we'd highlighted the Cardiff game because that was a real top of the table clash. I'm not sure if Cardiff are still up there. They're up in 6th place, so that could still very much be a crucial one. Around there we've also got Preston and Bristol City. Bristol City are in 9th, Preston are down near the bottom. So we're not going to worry about the Preston one, but either Cardiff or Bristol City will be our next game on camera. So plenty of big games to come in the Championship. I really hope we can sustain this start. It's going to be nice to fight for something rather than just having mid-table mediocrity. We were right up there last year, but we fell away dramatically towards the end. With a slightly bigger squad this year, my hope is we'll compete better towards the end of the year, but we've got to get rid of this inconsistency and sort ourselves out at the back. Can any of you suggest what I can do in this formation without changing it completely to try and make us a bit more solid? I've tried a couple of little role changes and tactical tweaks, but unfortunately they haven't paid dividends so far. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on it. I really do appreciate it. As I've said, let me know down in the comments how I can improve this defensive performances. You can see going forward we're absolutely lethal, the best team in the league, but we just cannot compete at the back and look like conceding every time our opposition attacks. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one part of the furniture with Torquay United, and our other series The Head Coach, The Journeyman Save, where we're currently at Newcastle. Also, keep an eye on the channel on Fridays over the next couple of months. There's a couple of new sports games coming out I'm really looking forward to trying. So if you're a fan of other sports games, then come over and check them out. We're really looking forward to them filling our Friday slot over the spring and summer months. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series. And we'll see you next time for another big top of the table clash.